Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to tell you a story and you want to stay on to watch to the end. It's an emotional story. If those who don't remember, I'll remind you. Those who never knew, I'll tell you now. And those who remember him, keep him in your hearts. So in 2007, Singapore executed two Africans, one a Nigerian and one from South Africa. This story is not about the one from South Africa. It's about the one who was from Nigeria. It's a very, very emotional story, and I know the Gen Zs don't know him. Those who used to be at the time where he was executed might remember him, but I'm here to make you remember him and put in your heart and as a moral lesson for so many people. His name is Amara Tochi, and 100%. Most of us from Africa who want to see greener pastures might go through something like this. Let that be a lesson, and I pray nobody falls a victim of such a thing. People are really wicked. So I try to compile and summarize the whole story for everyone to understand and watch, in case you've not seen it before, if you've not heard the story before, or you don't know him. Guys, watch the video.
If the world ever remember me, tell them I wasn't a bad person. Tell them I only followed a promise because I believed in good people. Tell them I dreamed of being more than my struggles. And if this is how my journey ends, let my story protect another boy like me. Let no child trust darkness wearing the face of help. My name is Amara Tochi. I was another Nigerian boy, born without a silver spoon, but determined to become great in life. Despite my background, another Nigerian child who decided to seek greener pasture in foreign lands, leveraging on the gift I was born with, football. Another Nigerian child who trusted wrongly and fell into a pit I never rose from. Born in 1985, I always wanted to play football. I saw it not just as a passion, but also as a means of escape from the poverty I was born into. At age 5, I moved in with a relative, and he attended St. Anthony's Mission School in Ohafia, Abia State. At 14, I had the opportunity to move to Senegal, where I played for Nigeria in the West Africa Coca-Cola Cup Championship. I was making some money for myself, a larger part of which I was sending home to help my family. In a bid to further pursue the dream, I decided to move to Dubai. I believed the city would get better chances of making a name for myself in football. I decided to first go to Pakistan, with the assumption of getting a visa and a train ride to Dubai from there. How I came to assume this is still unclear, because there was no such train, but I didn't find out until I landed in Pakistan. I sought refuge in a church in Islamabad. It was while I was there that I met one Mr. Smith, a fellow Igbo man who presented himself as an angel, who was going to help me realize my life dreams, help me secure a move to Dubai. This never came to pass, but Mr. Smith went on to change the course of my life in ways I never would have imagined in my wildest dreams. When the Dubai move didn't happen, Mr. Smith asked me to travel to Singapore, where I would meet his sick friend and deliver African herbs to him. He said his friend, Okele Nelson Maliki, would be flying in from Indonesia to receive the African herbs and also give me $2,000 for the gesture. And not only that, I can also be applying to clubs for trial while in Singapore. The deal sounded so juicy to me, and I accepted. On November 27th, 2004, I flew into Singapore's Changi airport at about 1:45 p.m. and was patiently waiting for Maliki to arrive to pick up his delivery. But I had to wait for a long time. I waited, and later, I got a call from Smith, stating that Malachi would be arriving late due to a missed flight. I then decided to go at the Ambassador Transit Hotel, but there was no room at that particular time. I decided to wait in the transit area until rooms are available at the hotel. I ended up waiting for close to 24 hours.
According to procedure, the receptionist on duty called to inform the police of a passenger who has been waiting in the transit area for about 24 hours. That was the beginning of the end for Tochi. The airport police swept in on Tochi, and without fear, knowing he had no reason to fear, he explained that he was required to have $2,000 before he can be granted entry into Singapore, which he did not have at the moment. He told them of his plan to talk with the Football Federation for assistance in securing trial chances with any of the clubs there. Tochi was searched, and about 100 capsules were found in his possession. When he was asked, he boldly told them it's African herbs, which are meant to give energy when consumed. He told them he was to deliver it to one Mr. Maliki, and to prove himself, he boldly swallowed one of the capsules. This didn't go well, and he has to be rushed down to the hospital where they administer laxatives on him to expel the drugs from his system. Tochi was driven back to the hotel, and he was made to call Smith. He said Maliki would arrive soon. Central Narcotics Bureau was invited, and the capsules were cut open. They discovered more than 300 grams of heroin. Tochi was made to call Smith again, and he confirmed that Maliki has arrived and was waiting at a nearby cafe. Police swooped into the cafe and arrested him. Section 17 of Singaporean law, Drugs Misuse Act, stipulates that anyone found with more than 2 grams of heroin is presumed to be trafficking it. And generally, drug trafficking gets the death sentence. The trial started in March 2005. Tochi's defense counsel tried its best to prove that Tochi didn't know the content of the capsules, as he was made to believe that it was simply African herbs. If he knew, there is no way he would have stayed in the transit area for 24 hours. And when he was informed that the police was on their way, he would have hidden the package or get rid of it. The judge, Mr. Kan Tin Chu, in paragraph 42 of his judgment, 2005, SGHC 233, also said he did not think Tochi knew he was being asked to transport drugs. He said there was no direct evidence that Tochi knew the capsule's content. There was nothing to suggest that Smith had told him they contained diamorphine. The judge, however, said Tochi should have known something fishy was going on when he was promised $2,000 to simply deliver African herbs to a sick man in Singapore. He said he should have asked Smith to confirm the contents of the package to him before embarking on the trip. Or he could have personally tried to confirm the contents when he was left alone. Maliki also denied knowing Tochi and Smith. He said he was only in Singapore to buy used cars to sell in his home country of South Africa. It was later discovered that his South African documents were forged. The judge eventually found both Tochi and Maliki guilty and sentenced them to death. This sentence sparked a worldwide reaction in favor of Tochi, who many feel was innocent. The case was appealed, and this gave a little glimpse of hope. But sadly, the appeal court upheld the death sentence. While they were awaiting execution, many made different efforts to secure Tochi's pardon. Even the president was not left out. President Olusegun Obasanjo traveled to Singapore to discuss oil business with the Prime Minister, and he used the opportunity to talk about Tochi's case. He pled that the death sentence be commuted to imprisonment, but his plea fell on deaf ears, as the Prime Minister said there was nothing he could do to stop the execution. The United Nations raised concerns about the fairness of convicting someone when intent wasn't proven. But Singapore held firm. Their law was clear. The sentence was final. Few days before the execution, Tochi's brother in Nigeria got a letter. It was from the Singaporean government. It was to inform the brother that Tochi's family would be granted an extended visiting period of 3 days before his execution. But this letter meant nothing, because Tochi's family couldn't even afford to travel to Singapore. On the evening of Thursday, the 25th of January 2007, many activists led by Madasami Ravi gathered in front of Changi prison, candles in hand. Ravi had the opportunity to meet Tochi in prison. Ravi was holding a football jersey and short, hung it on the fence of the prison, and they all held a vigil there all night. But on the morning of Friday, the 26th of January, 2007, just before 6 a.m., a prison official came out and informed the activists of Tochi and Malika's execution. Tochi was said to have cried for 5 minutes. He then asked the priest to pray for him before he was finally hanged. A simple funeral service was held at the St. Mary Mount Constant Chapel before he was buried at the Chua Chu Kang Cemetery. That was how the dreams of a young man who tried to pursue greener pastures abroad and use his God-given talent to create a better life for himself and his family ended on the gallows in faraway Singapore after trusting and believing there are still good people in the world. He was arrested at the age of 19 and executed at 22. Mr. Smith was never found and never prosecuted. His death sparked outrage across Africa and Asia. To many, he became a symbol, a talented young man destroyed by poverty, by exploitation, and by one of the harshest drug laws on earth. Tochi's dream of becoming a footballer died not on a field, but on a foreign gallows.
Honestly speaking, if not for the leaders, bad leadership in Africa, most of the countries in Africa, many Africans wouldn't want to put themselves in such situations. And this person was at the wrong place, the wrong time, and like everything that happened to him, it felt like it was meant to happen. He had options. But it's really sad. It's very sad. Like, many people want to see greener pastures and then such things or even worse happen. The sad thing is, our own African people, your own African brother will put you in such a very difficult situation. Most of us, as we travel, then they warn ourselves, say, don't take anything from anybody saying that somebody wants to meet you and pick it up and all that. That has been a norm for a long time, and then now it's clear that nobody even wants to take anyone's luggage in behalf of the person to say, I'm going to give it to somebody. Because honestly, you don't know what the person has planted inside. So guys, this is a very big moral lesson. Guys, even though we are trying to see greener pastures, let's make sure we don't fall a victim to such things. Because this life, you only live once. It's rather sad that he got to a place where the laws are very strict when it comes to drug smuggling and then drug possession. So sad. And as I would say, if you travel, must not go take anybody something. See, you want to. The person says, I will meet my mother, my sick auntie. Please, oh, watch God, and even a pastor. In fact, I've heard stories of whereby someone pretends to be a pastor and do that. It doesn't matter who it is. If you meet the person, that if it's somebody that you respect, please. This is a moral lesson for so much of our young ones. And let's stay alert. He's just a young boy, 19 years old. Amara Tochi, 19 years old. He just wanted to go and make money. Just to go make money so the house could be. He just want to make money, make house be. Who will fall like that now? At this point, you ask yourself, so as he went, was it worth it or not? Absolutely not worth it, because now he's no more. Families have been grieving for a long time. Actually, if he was still alive, he'd be around 40 years, I guess. And this is sad. Shout out to everyone who is struggling and then hustling out there. It's not easy. The hustlers and the strugglers, massa, it's not easy. Shout out to everybody who is hustling, who is struggling to make ends meet and to feed the house. Shout out to everybody who, all breadwinners. Shout out to everybody who is trying to make it in life. So guys, thank you for reaching the end of this video, and I'd like you to share, subscribe to more viewers like yourself. Let's continue discussion in the comment section. Your views are always valid. Thank you. Ciao.